most position that I start with the company. Like
Okay,
I didn't
so
sell any major,
Okay,
position.
so you didn't just dump. You didn't just dump your shares.
No.
No, he won't. Yeah.
If
Good.
I dump
So
it,
you still
I
have,
would
you
do
still
it.
believe. You believe in the company.
And it's not only my belief too. All the major shareholders that they put money with me, they still believe, in me and the company that we can do something, right?
Right.
And I agree with you. Like we have to do a dramatic change, and that's what we plan to do. Not only just raise the money or for a project, we also need to do an overhaul of a management team too. Once we get the new project, like we got to have the appropriate management team to run the projects, right?
Perfect.
So that we are prepared for that, however, when we announce the news, we're doing that to the end of this year or even up to now, our stock almost double, right? And
Right.
that's showing that, like all the major shareholders not selling. Like if we selling, even myself, the selling, we won't able to get to 12 cents. It makes sense, right?
But you can't even sell because the volume is so low. I mean, you cannot get rid of the stock, even if you wanted to.
That's true. But then still, the volume is low because nobody sell too. Because otherwise,
right, there's no activity yet.
Sell it. Yeah. For me, we know the stock market, then of course there's no volume. It's not, how can you sell? But for some other investor, like you investor, like you said that, hey, no, I sell 75% of my position. I don't care about the market, right? I need to recover my money. So you would just dump it in the market, right? But we haven't seen it dumping yet, right?
Exactly.
The volume is not that high, but then same thing, the overhang is not that high too. You even see any major 100,000 share want to sell, all this 10,000, 20,000 max. There's nothing, really, right?
Guys, excuse me for 2 minutes. I'm just getting my my meal served here. I'm just gonna take out the bill right now.
Okay. Pistis also wanted to know if the we will wait until he comes back. But Raymond,
yeah,
Pistis also wanted to know if we can change the purpose of the company anytime, and can the company have multiple purpose, and can we go for multiple purpose?
Yeah, we can do that, and that's why we do the announcement. Now the only thing is that when we do the change of business, we need to have a AGM, shareholder meeting, right?
Yes.
And given that we control all 50%, I don't think there's any objection to say that, hey, we are changing business to something else, right? So that it shouldn't be a problem.
But can we change to multiple purpose? Multiple, not just one, but to multiple stuff.
Multiple.
How we get into technology, get into forestation, get to different industries? Can we do that or no? Or we have to choose one?
No, we have to choose one. What's like the industry. Just like we are industry, we are classified as agriculture. So as agriculture, we can go anything, right? So depends on what project we're going to take on. Like we can say that, okay, technology, then yeah, you can do anything with technology, right? So that depends on how we're going to approach it. However, this other way we can do it is that if we chose two different industries, okay, let's say we have technology and then also have trading, commerce.
How we do that?
We can do it, but we can just spin out one of the company in a separate company.
Okay.
And that shouldn't be hard to do too, right? Once you get all the material, we can have two companies, which is better for the shareholder.
Okay.
Now, somehow that you can see some company doing that is a conglomerate, just like a holding company, Maple Leaf holding company, and then they have 3 or 4 different separate company or subsidiary doing different things.
Exactly.
So you know you
Okay.
can handle it that way. Like, it shouldn't be any problem.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah.
This is
Because that was
also
actually one of my questions too.
Yes.
Ray, did you ask that question?
Yes, I asked him. I told him that was your question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. What Raymond is saying makes sense. If the
Yes.
subsidiaries companies, then
Yes.
it can pass without it looking too busy within
Yeah.
one single entity, right?
I also like his idea of the spin-offs.
That's right.
I didn't hear that part. I was busy.
Yeah,
You can
Raymond,
explain
can
later.
you explain that again?
I'm saying that we can split out. Like even you, let's say that we have end up with 2 projects we want to choose, one in technology, one in even mining, let's say, okay? We can split out both projects into a separate company, but it's still under Maple Leaf control. They will own share in those, 2 companies, right? And these
like
2
that.
companies will be trading, publicly as well. So that's why I'm quoting some of the example that you see in the market that is Maple Leaf will become a holding company, a conglomerate company holding different company in different sector. It can be done. It's just a matter
And
of
those companies that it's holding have the rights to trade in the public, right?
Exactly. So you can see an ABC company in technology, and you can register in Canada stock trading there, and then a CBD company doing mining.
Right.
Oh,
Very
okay,
good.
student stock. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, called spin-offs, yes.
That's very good.
Okay.
And Tang,
Yes.
what have you been able to do anything to assist in helping the stock?
Yes.
What have you used so far? What have you done? For just promoting to get more investors?
Yeah. One thing is we promoted more investor and have more investor trading. Right? Who has more multiple investor, they trading themselves under some directions.
And what do you what's your outlook? What's your observation? Is it working? Is it not working? What's the challenge there?
It's working, but because of the share and the market capitalization is is small, right? With a little bit of money, you can move the stock dramatically, just like you say. It's like this stock now is only $3 million capitalization, right?
Yeah, 3.4.
Yeah, because of the situation, because the market is just like down like a storm, right? Because the investor think there's no liquidity. So once we raise money like $1 million or $25 million, so the stock will be skyrocketing, right? Especially like if there is $1 million, say tomorrow we are raise $1 million, the stock could be from 10 cents to 50 cents in no time. It's very easy because it's small, right? Because there's because in the market, as you said, the 2 things are important. One thing is liquidity. The second thing is the price, right? Because regardless of what they do, but usually, in these days, not many people really care about the fundamental of the business or company. A lot of people find it very important, in the stock, the performance of the stock in the market. So investor treats the performance, right? That's very important aspect because somebody just like not now lots of cryptocurrencies or even stock, they move up dramatically. you know, without any news or business, right?
Oh, but that's because like the crypto, they're the hot thing right now. You understand? People are looking for it. There's heavy demand and interest there.
Yeah.
Maple Leaf does not have that right now on its side, right?
No, the main thing
That's
is
why.
the main thing is, you know, one thing the stock one, you know, the popularity is very important, right? Because
Right.
you know, now these days people say the popularity, the 流量 just the flow, right? You know, the cash flow, the flow of the stock. That's one thing, you know. I mean, you see Elon Musk, he's on the news all the time, you know. So if Mr. Raymond Lee tell people or invest what he's doing, who is him, what he's doing, and what's doing good for the investor, so that's move the market too, the stock, right?
Yeah, plus
Okay.
I think can I say something too? You know,
Yes.
the other thing is that like all these long time investor with me, they want to see what we're going to move to, right? So I think the key thing, like Mr. Tang say that hey, we have to get a direction, like what project we're going to take on, you know, like if the money we try to raise coming in. Once we get
I'm
these
going to come back. I'm having issues. I will come back.
Ray is saying he's having some issues. He's coming back.
Oh, okay. I thought he won. Okay, so I think those guys, like my long-time investor, they already told me that they would average down if we get something direction that they like, they would buy from the market too. Okay, so it's not really we're looking for new investor. The old investor want the stock to go too, but they need to know what direction, what do we do, right? We're allowing them going to a new direction, but okay, what project we're going to take on, things like that. So I think once we get that clarified, moving the stock up, it shouldn't be any problem.
Right.
Just
Okay.
imagine we own half, so 30 million, sure. We're only talking about only 15 million outstanding outside. Once you
Right.
move the stock, you know that,
Perfect.
right?
I'm
Once
back.
the
I'm
major
back.
shareholder, including me, buying stock, people will watch. They will say, hey, something is going on. We better wait, right?
I agree with what Raymond is saying, and I also agree with what Tang has said. To a degree in which I think we all have to be honest with one another, right? It's whatever you guys are doing right now, it's limited.
Yeah.
There's a ceiling, right? Just by raising 1 million, it's not what's going to take the stock from 8 cents to 50 cents. That I don't agree with.
No.
There's more. Yeah, there's more to it, and that's where we go back to this drastic narrative and story that needs to be created with what we are trying to bring to the table. And Raymond, yes, you may have the old investors, which is already a plus. Because they want to double down
Great.
and add some more if they like the direction. So we need to give them that story. But what I'm talking about is also bringing new capital based on what we're bringing to the table, what we're looking to bring to the table, right? Getting some new investor. Hello?
Yeah. We
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. I thought someone else. Getting some new investors on board, that also pushes even the old investors to feel more confident,
Yes.
right?
Of course.
In buying some more. So Ray.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Ray. So I think just having this conversation with Raymond and Tang, I really think that there's a missing part, right? There's a missing part, and the technology that you have and what we can really bring it to the table if we do it right. That's only if we do it right. If we connect it well, can have a shot at impacting the stock. So maybe you want to touch a little bit on what's the early vision for this.
Yes, yes. And let me, beside the technology, give them a full vision. The technology, they already know about that, but I'm going to put it in context. But in addition to that, I want to tell them the real power that you can bring on the table. I want to start with that. I think that it's time now that they be aware. And so, and justifying why I haven't put that plan out yet, because I was waiting for you, Pistis, to finish a few things with me so that I will include them in the plan. So let me just give you a perspective of what is it that Pistis has in hand. Pistis, do you allow me to go about that, or you want to say that yourself?
Ray, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. I'm listening to you guys. I'm just sending something. You can go ahead, explain.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to follow the technology first, and then I will let you talk about what you have in hand as well. I think it will be more logical. Yes, about the technology that I have, yes, in hand. I think we've been talking about this for now more than a month, and that's why Mr. Raymond Lay and Tang are basically saying, you know what, don't talk about it anymore. We just want you to execute. And I understand from their standpoint where they are. You see, we know that the story of the technology is huge. At the two technology side is huge. So there's no question about that. Now, Mr. Tang and Mr. Lay are basically saying, okay, we know, just execute. So that's where we are now. So the first technology is really the online payment with cash. That will shake even the youngest baby in the hospital, correct? Meaning nobody will read that, see that story and not read it. Even
Ray, you need to
in
speak
the
louder.
entrance of, yes, I say the technology of cash online, paying cash online,
Yes.
it will shake any single person on earth. Even the person who knows the technology will write the story. There's not a single newspaper that will not want to write about that, because it's so huge that everybody want to put it as a news, so that we all know that, so that will get people excited. So we've already talked about that. There's nothing new here for Mr. Tang, nothing new for Raymond, nothing new for Hong. I think we've talked about that. Now it's about execution. And then phase two, the third technology is transferring money from country to country at negative rates. And we know that. People will talk about that. So that will be the thing drastic. That's the story that everybody will want to know, every single person. We already know that. That's not the problem. Now, you asked me to execute. I am at the point now where I want to execute. And that's why I wanted Pistis to be there in here. And so we will do it in 3 phases. The first phase is we need an agreement between us. I know you've said, Tom, yes, agreement is okay, just write it down, and then we will sign or we will not sign, just execute. But I still want us to talk about it before actually the agreement comes your way. Because that's where PCS is basically sure that should we execute it my way with a drastic change, he will come in. He will strongly consider coming in. The only reason why I wanted him here was that PCS today, as we speak, has a friend of him who have hacked. I will let him talk about it. PCS, you there? He'll be coming. Okay, he'll be coming. So PCS not only can bring to us investment, but he also have access to major readily available company in Africa today that can boost our stock crazy. And he have direct access to the person making decision. So I would like him to talk about that himself. I wanted to talk about it, but I think it would be better he talk about that. And then now, to be honest with you, him and I had a conversation today. And what we're thinking? We're thinking that we need, because of the work we're going to be doing, we need some, at the beginning, we need some stock options. That's the point zero of the starting point, is for Mr. Raymond Lay to lay down stock options with his board and everything. So we start by saying, can we agree on a stock option? Why? I didn't say stock, I said stock option. The stock options will be based on performance. We are starting at 8 cents. We set a milestone on whatever that I'm going to take the lead and execute. And at each point, when the execution brings the stock to a point where we're targeting, we become the owners of the stake of the options at the price that we came in at, so that we can make money too. Do you understand that concept? Yes or no? Or you want an example? Raymond? Mr. Tang?
Yeah, I understand. What are you
We're
talking?
listening, yeah. No problem. So far, so good. Right.
So far, so good. Everything is good. Today is a good day.
That's right. So yes. So, and we think that, anyway, I'm going to write the details of that. So now that the stock option is good, I think it lays down the ground for anything else. The second thing is this. We are as a crossroad. Maple Leaf can skyrocket, but we also run the risk of dying. That possibility is there. Initially, I was thinking that we could enroll the IP directly into the company, but after further thinking, it is good, but it's also bad. Because if we roll it into the company right now and the company goes south, then we will lose the IP. So my suggestion, in order for us to use the power of the IP, but not risk losing it, is that we will give exclusive license to Maple Leaf to use the technology for, let's say, 1 year, and then value it. That way, Maple Leaf will have the full credit for the technology without having full ownership. So it cannot lose it in the case something went south, and we can still rebound. You there?
Yes.
Yes.
So the license trick will do the thing. We will announce something like, Maple Leaf today announced that he has acquired exclusive license of the use of this technology for X number of years, and then it's intend to use it to do this, and this. So knowing that Maple Leaf is the only one who can actually license it and can use it, Maple Leaf will have the full credit of the story. But we will not run the risk of, if Maple Leaf went wrong, then we lose the technology to the current stakeholder
Right.
who will make a claim on it. So that's the way that we intend to do this at each point. So we will actually try to do what, because the question we had was the one that Raymond responded to. We will follow basically 3 subsidiaries: a technology subsidiary, a financial subsidiary with the technology, and the technology with the IP of the video. The videos, we will do the same. We can build. Mr. Lay, I will send you the financial statement of the company as of December 2014, when TD killed us. Because TD killed us at a stroke of a pen. We didn't have any financial issues, nothing. Overnight, TD recalled our 1.5 million line of credit. And because we were operating the business with it, we just had to stop operating the business. That's how we died. It wasn't because there was anything wrong. So what I'm trying to say here is, with the same spin-off or a same, we can actually get the company back to 5-6 million within 6 or 7 months by being the only food video platform in the world. Today, YouTube is a video platform, but YouTube has everything. The YouTube platform is everything for everybody. What I was building was a food video platform. Anywhere in the world, people want food. People eat food every single day. That was the specificity that I had, and that TD Bank killed. Maybe they use YouTube helped them kill it. I don't know the exact reason why they kill it, but they kill it. So if Mepelif came and said, we have acquired and we intend of putting all the site online, I'll show you one. And actually we can do 80 of them within 3 months. And then put that back. And I have the list of all the advertisers. We can roll that back. And that could be another spin-off or subsidiary of Mepelif. And we treat the license, the IP, the same way. Meaning we will give Mepelif an exclusive right to use it so that we can generate revenue that way. And the reason we're doing that is also because we know that with the stock option, should Mepelif stock goes up and reach the milestone that the plan will meet, we know that when you reach that, we will be reached out well at the same time as you. And when I say those stock options, it is for Pistis, of course, for me, for Tang, and for Hong, because from my perspective, we are not stockholders at this time, and we are a team. Raymond Lane, so we work that way. So we start with that, and as we reach those milestones, each of us gets whatever we would agree on the stock option level. And by that, so we will have a spin-off or a subsidiary that in the video business that we can start. We have a subsidiary on the online cash payment. And then we will have a subsidiary and the fintech. And what the fintech will do, the fintech will be in the money transfer, international money transfer. That's a tree that I see rigidly right now. And I just want to tell you that those three, although I'm almost 95% sure that I can execute all those to the perfection, I want to give you the opportunity to hear what Pistis and I was working on for more than 4 years. And we didn't know how to do it until I called Pistis and say, Mr. Tang came up with Raymond Lay, who has a vehicle that we were looking for. So I'm going to let you hear Pistis, please. Pistis, can you take over here and tell more steps that we can do with Africa?
Well, the Africa opportunity is very large, right? Like Ray said at the beginning, despite whatever experience someone may have had, even myself, when I first came to Africa, we started looking at Africa, you would meet different types of people. You meet people who are not honest, who are trying to con you. And we did lose, I remember I lost 467,000 on the first deal back in 2017, when I first started coming into Africa. But the thing about Africa, it's all about your connection, your network. We just happened to have in the Congo things that have gone our way, meaning there was a change of presidency in 2018. And it just happened that the new president who took the power is someone who my father literally mentored. My father and his father were running for the same party. His father was the president. My father was the vice president of that party for many, many years. My father is still the president, representative president of the party in Canada. So it's our party now who's in power. So with those connections and that type of
pieces.
Yes.
Please let me just give them something. Whatever pieces is telling you, I stand by it 100%. I can even add to you that I met the president myself. Not somewhere else, in my own house.
In his house in Ottawa.
In my house in Ottawa.
Before the guy became president, he was a running mate. He came, whenever he's in Canada, he comes to my family house to visit, to have dinner. So back then I was in Canada, so I brought him to Ray's house for Ray to meet him.
That's right.
And we sat at Ray's house, we met, we spoke there for about a good 45 minutes to an hour. And back then we were talking about some wood business, right? And it just happened that, that was in 2016. It just happened that 2 years later, the man became the president of the Congo. Now, I say all this just to say it's not that it's the president that moves, that will help us do things, but I'm just saying there is a land now that's very easy for us to access. There is opportunities that are very easy for us to access. And with that, when Ray first spoke to me about...
I just want to add that the president he's talking about is the president of potentially the richest country in Africa.
Yeah, yes, Congo is known to be, when it comes to natural resources and even all the natural resources, known to be the richest country in Africa. It's just also not known for, it's also known for the lack of managing those natural resources, right? But
let me just tie it together. China now is interested and had made Congo one of its first priority. Let me put the deal together. Chinese or people from China, especially from Hong Kong, and especially people with the background that Hong, Mr. Tang, and you, Mr. Le have, that can be checked. If you were going directly with you as our partners through Maple Leaf to make a deal, the deal will be almost be 99.9% done. Because now we're coming with a public company. We're not coming with some BS that somebody made in his basement. And coming from China, and China making Africa his priority, and those people knowing we will have open door. Pieces, go ahead. I'm just, just some stress, some points.
Yeah, and there's even a lot of outstanding Chinese contracts from big government entities in China that have signed contract with the Congo for forest deals, mining deals, and so on and so forth, that were now to be revised with this new administration. I've had people from China, Hong Kong and China, some associates that I know, have reached out to us to negotiate those deals for them. And we're talking about big deals. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and up, right? So that just goes to just give you guys kind of the channels that we've created when it comes to that country. But if we go back to Maple Leaf, when Ray first spoke to me about the opportunity of this vehicle, because the most interesting thing about Maple Leaf right now is the vehicle that's publicly traded, right?
Yeah.
We can push aside the current market cap. We can push it. All those things can change. But the moment he spoke to me about that, right away, we went back to some of the things and our reasoning and the ideas that we're putting on paper 3 years ago. And I was telling Ray, this is a perfect opportunity because we can literally connect it with the wood business, some forest stuff. We have access to
elaborate on the GP wood stuff. Go ahead.
Yes, we have access to forest area wood that was being cultivated, I guess, by the Lebanese community from the Congo. And we're talking about a forest area that's been valuated above $2 billion. And the person who owns this is like a brother to me, right? Ray, you've spoken to him. I put you guys on
directly. He asked me a lot of
conference calls.
questions. Yes.
Yes, and there's a lot of interest there. He has people from Switzerland. He has people from different countries in Dubai who are also trying to come in and exploit that his area for wood. And one of the interests that he's always had, that he's always come to me and asked me, how do I go public with this? How do I connect this with wherever you came from? So to me, when I first heard about Maple Leaf, my first thought was we have to be open to these type of ideas with opportunities that have large value, opportunities that can prove that they're generating large amount of money, and we can connect this opportunity inside the vehicle that's publicly traded, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was going. My first thought was, let's not waste too much time running around. Let us look and focus into how we can take this vehicle and also connect it with Africa, because the wood business is a huge business in the United States and even Canada.
Huge, even in China, even bigger in China.
Even China, yes. Even China.
China purchase of wood in Africa is over, we call it now over 100 billion now.
It's a story that's easily understood. And if we package it well, we present it well with the actual numbers and future projections, I truly believe that this will have significant impact on your stock. And on top of that,
let me just add one thing. There are international audit for such forests.
Yes.
It will not just be stories that we talk.
Yes.
Specialists that will go actually and evaluate those and come up with a valuation.
Yeah, there's international entities that evaluate those. There's also the local government itself will support. And on top of that, if you start spinning this idea on the other side of the Africa side, you have a lot of millionaires in Africa that don't know what to do with their money. If you start now telling them,
excuse me, can I ask you what type of wood you're talking about? Like, is it like a timber?
hey,
right?
what's the wood that he was telling you?
We talk about timber, yes, timber.
Timber, yeah.
What type?
And he has about tropical essence, and we have about 300 types of wood, from the azobe to whatever you think. Yes, essence of wood.
That even I can get you a list.
Yeah. I mean, there's a big opportunity. I agree with you guys, because even like 2 years ago, I was approached by a South America company to for wood project to export that to China, because China require those type of wood. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Time. So, but only thing is that at that time, COVID-19 come in, I cannot go there to look at, and then everything is kind of on hold after that, right?
Right.
So I mean, yeah, you have all the collection, yeah, that's good. Like you know the story about Sino Forest, right? Like Sino
Yes.
Forest other around, they go in China.
Yes. Yes.
That guy makes some a phony report, things like that, kind of screw them up.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if we have a source go into China, like with the wood, yes, I think it's a big opportunity. I know
Raymond, it's a very direct story. You don't need to explain. The story is easy to understand. You understand? And right now, where we are, our back is against the wall. When we look at from a standpoint of Maple Leaf and its stock, and there needs to be a shakeup. There needs to be something very bold, very big, that's going to make people say, how the hell did they pull that off? What is going on here, right? That's the only thing I see shooting this stock up. And to me personally, aside from the technology stuff, personally, I believe if we look at this wood stuff, right? And I'm talking about proper business. I'm not talking about cutting shortcuts and corners. I'm talking about getting the government behind us. I'm talking about having all the documentations properly, and something that has a lot of value currently and has even more potential future value. And we spin that, we package that into this vehicle. I truly believe we're giving ourselves a chance, because that's all we can see, right?
This is we're not giving ourselves a chance. We are giving ourselves a certainty. Let me also tell Raymond that the relationship that PCs have with JP, who's actually heading this, is so that it is PCs that gonna make the call. In other words, if he said to JP, make this call, the guy will make it.
Yes.
So having PCs here is almost like we have the decision maker himself.
Yeah, no, he's really like my brother. He's like me and Ray when we talk, right? And this is a gentleman, again, himself. He's not someone who's starving. He's a millionaire himself. He's been looking for different opportunities, looking to me to kind of bring something better, something more that the country or that type of business has not seen yet from that angle. And when this presented itself, the Maple Leaf vehicle, right away to me it was an easy thought. It was not even something I had to sleep it over. It just came in mind, right? And I strongly urge the team that's here present today to hear this, what I'm telling you guys, word for word, not to sleep on this opportunity with the wood, right? Not to sleep on it. I know it's not easy. Nothing is easy. It's work that needs to be done, but it's something that we can do properly. And these type of chances don't come often. No. If we nail this, I think we're skyrocketing. Yes.
And I think it's easy.
My understanding that Raymond is willing to let me make the call.
Yeah, yes.
Right. I just want you to present that so that I will put it in the entire plan.
Yeah. We don't even need to change business.
Making sure that we execute any single line of it.
Right.
It's my turn now to show Raymond that, and Mr. Tang already knows, Hong already knows. It's my turn to show Mr. Raymond Lay that we are not talkers. We actually do things.
Right.
If he continued to really give us the green light after hearing today, I'll put that in the final plan. And then after that, we will start execution with his understanding that we can run with it. Is that true, Mr. Raymond?
As long as you also protect what we're bringing, Because I
Same
tell you,
way,
Jean-Paul,
same way,
JP is
same
like a
way,
brother to
license.
me. I will not allow,
way.
because what he's bringing to the table is actually more valuable than what's currently happening in Maple Leaf, right? It's more valuable than that.
We're going to
Now
protect
it's
with the
all about,
license. We're going to
What was
protect with the
that?
license, same way. We will protect it with the license. Yeah, same way. So
it's just
so
about
we have full
utilizing
value
the
of the
vehicle
asset.
so that we can all benefit.
That's exactly right. On the execution part, no worry about that. I know exactly how to do it so nobody loses.
Yeah.
In all scenarios.
Yeah, that's like I say, you know, like will be actually the wood thing that will be really straightforward, like pistons, yeah, because we are in the same industry. We don't need to change industry, right?
Exactly.
You know, we just carry on as agriculture industry.
Yes.
You know, that will be easy, straightforward. Now we can sign an NDNC, this,
yes,
you know, to protect yourself and ourselves, right? So we'll keep that, you know, confidential. And once we sign that, you know, I don't mind to send us some information about this, you know, wood product, like how many acres, what they're growing, things like that. And, you know, I can, you know, we can, like, that can be moved really fast.
Yes.
Right.
The technology one, yeah, it's good. You know, that we can do that too. But that
Yes.
one, though, we have to like kind of spin out a company. Like we can take that project first and then spin it out, you know, when it's ready. Yeah.
Yes.
So we can get two birds in one hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
Right. I agree. I agree with you on that one.
Perfect. I think at this point that Raymond made a huge progress, because the first time I mentioned Africa to him, he almost went crazy. So that's fine. So we basically going the right way here. I like the direction where we all are. I like all the answers that Raymond gave us in terms of spin-offs and subsidiaries. In other words, we can pursue several opportunities at the same times, meaning the technology, the finance, and this, but going with the one that will go the faster, so we can actually have the stock coming back to where it should double. But the very first stage of this is, of course, an agreement on the stock option, so that when the stock goes up, we all benefit. So I will be drafting the stock options, as well as Raymond, please send the confidentiality agreement to Pistis as well, so we are all on the same page. It's a mutual confidential agreement. And then from there, now that we've talked first, it was important to talk, so that, and for you also to hear about Pistis, because I always say Pistis. You guys don't necessarily know who he is and what he can do. Now you hear it from his own mouth. Now, the second thing I want to tell you is the forest isn't even 1% of it. But I will just keep it here, because just to give you the perspective, Africa is so capital hungry that there is not a single state company in Africa that is not run with debt. There is no company in Africa that is not run with debt. Africa doesn't have a stock market to finance big companies. Our end game is to use Maple Leaf to erase all the debt in huge balance sheet companies in order to raise capital for them. We become the entry point for those companies to raise capital instead of and financing themselves with stock instead of debt. And that by itself is huge. Huge.
I agree.
Huge. Just today, the Chinese government is financing Africa with debt. We can give the Chinese people the power to finance Africa through the stock and get dividend, so that the government benefit and the people of China and Hong Kong and everywhere benefit too. So we the stock skyrocket and we are all in a good shape. That's really the vision that we have. And we have the support of the government of China in doing so. So this is where we are. And I want you to take over now, and then you guys can give your own comment, but I'm done with this meeting. I'm happy to where we are right now. Raymond, Tang, Hong, if you want to add something, please, that would be great.
We
Will you mind to send me the email of Pestis so we can send the NDNC to him to sign? Right?
Yes, I will send it to you right away.
Sure. Okay.
I think it's good. Good meeting, you know. Nice to meet you, everybody, today, you know.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. And I like what Hong was saying. For Chinese New Year, the first day is very important.
Yes.
Whatever you said on this day, this is where it's going. I think we've set some
It is
pretty,
memorable.
yes, it's memorable. I think we've set some pretty good foundations, at least by binding of some ideas. And let's see how we can move forward. Let's see how we can move forward and execute. That's really what matters.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Very nice talking to you. Business.
Pleasure, guys.
Yeah. And thank you, Ray, for your
Okay.
effort.
Thanks, Ray.
Let's looking forward for the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy Tiger Year to all of you.
Okay.
This year is going to be above and beyond expectation. I am 100% sure of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yes. Bye.